Hello everyone and welcome to ITLS Academy Empower the Youth. So today in this lecture we will going to understand our part 2 of pilot plan. So in the previous lecture we have discussed about what is a pilot plan. So see student, pilot plan, it is the part of the pharmaceutical industry where the lab scale formula is transformed into a viable product by development of liable and practical procedure of manufacture. So we have already discussed about the definitions. We have seen what is a scale up, since the scale up is the art of designing of prototype using the data obtained from the pilot plant model. So today we will going to understand some general consideration, or you can say group responsibilities that are there in a pilot plant. So the first one is the reporting responsibility. So reporting responsibility says that R&D groups with a separate staffing, the formulator who develop the product can take into the production and can provide a support, and even after the transition into the production has been completed. So the first one is reporting responsibility. So there is basically R&D sectors. Okay, so R&D groups should have a separate staffing, and whereas the formulator is a person or a employee who develop the product, and so he can take into the production. Okay, and can provide the support even after the transition into the production has been completed. So he can work all through. Not only he is not only confined till the production is a product is produce, so he can look after the production has been completed also. So he can do, the formulator has a right, or he can develop the product, as well as after developing a product he can also have a look into the other things also. Now the personal requirement. So the scientists with experience in the pilot plant operation as well as in actual production areas are the most preferable. So see, in the previous lecture also I have discussed this point, that is all the employees, all the workers that are there in the pilot plant manufacturing unit should be trained enough. Means only the workers who have a good training in the pilot plant sector's operation should be there in the production area. Why? Because it needs a very this pilot plant production needs a very skilled laborers, and unskilled labor will not be able to perform the good uh, production of any product, that is a drug. So it is recommended that only the workers or the employees who have a deep knowledge on the how to do the production in the pilot plant operation, so he can be the best person to work in the pilot plant sector. See, scientists who have a great experience in the pilot plant operations are the most, you can say, preferred person that is used in the pilot plant manufacturing unit, as they have to understand the intent of the formulator as well as the understand the perspective of the production personnel. So why there is a need of a skilled labor? Because whenever you need a production in the pilot plant, you need a skilled labor. Why? Because he has an understanding of the intent of the formulator, as well as he has an understanding of the perspective of the production personnel. Okay, so the group should have some personnel with the engineering knowledge, as well as the scale up also involves engineering principles, knowledge of computers and electronics. So see, since it is a pharmaceutical industry, so it is not only related to the operation that is there in the pharmacy labs. A person should have a great knowledge of scale up. He should have a great knowledge how to use the engineering principles in the production. He should have a great knowledge of computers as well as electronics, because a person who is working in pilot plant production, he should have a very deep knowledge of all the things, the scale up thing, the how to use their engineering principles, how to use their skills, how to have a knowledge of computers and electronics. Everything should a person be known. So that is the reason whenever there is a recruitment of a person in the production of the particular drug industry, so everything is being checked up, whether a person is having a knowledge of computers, whether a person is having a knowledge of electronics, how a person is having the qualities like how he can use engineering principles, how he has a deep knowledge of scale up things. So everything should be in a proper way. That is the reason. Means, see, if you want a production to have a very high uh, output, if you need a production to have a very high output, so you need a skilled labor, you need a skilled scientist, you need a skilled employees. Why? Because their knowledge can boost up the production unit. Now comes the space requirement. So where this pilot plant should be placed off, that is the space requirement. So the space requirement is being divided into the four criteria. That is the storage room, or you can say the storage area, standard equipment, that is the floor space. You need a separate area for the physical testing area, and you need an area for the administration and information processing. So whenever you have a visit in any industries, so you came across two different types of areas. Means every area has a name behind with it. That is a storage area where you kept your raw materials, where you kept the all the raw materials that is needed in the production of particular drug. So you need an area that is known as a storage area, where you put your all the raw materials, equipments that are not that going to be used in the production area, sorry, in the production. So you need the storage area. So the storage area should be properly cleaned, the storage area should be properly sanitized, so there is no contaminant, or should be no cross contamination. Everything should be sorted, everything should be clean, every raw material should have a label placed on it. Okay, so a separate space is needed. Then the standard equipment floor space. So you need, the industry should have a proper floor space where they can kept the equipments. Also the equipment should be of CGMPs, that is the current good manufacturing practices. Means all the latest types of design equipment, machinery should be used. Again, the flooring should be clean, should be washed properly before used. It should be free from any source of microbial contamination. Everywhere should be there, the sanitizer bottle should be there. Then the physical testing area, again the area where the testing take place, so that area should be separated. Area that is dealing with the administration and information processing, also that area should also be separate. So every area should be separate, so that there should be no cross contamination, or there should be no you can say hassle. Because if the every area, if it is a separate, then there is a very means चीज़ें बहुत आसान हो जाती हैं, how to catch any particular thing. If you want a raw material, you directly go to the raw material storage room and you take out your take the raw material. If you want any equipment, you go to the standard equipment floor space, you take the equipment. So that is the reason. Means to avoid the cross contamination, to avoid the hassle, the space requirement is needed, so that everything should be at the place. So here one thing I have mentioned, that administration and information processing. So why there is a need of administration and information process? See, adequate office and desk space should be provided for both scientists and technicians. The space should be adjacent to the working area, because you need, because whenever there is a production, or so there are, sometimes there is a need of a chart, there is a need of a graph, there is a need of the testing ink result. So that is the मतलब की reason administration and information area is needed, and that area should be very close to the working area. Okay, it should the administration and information process, or you can say area, have a it this area have a record also, so that is be helping in the auditing processes also. So now comes the physical testing area. So the physical testing area, as you can see in this image that I have placed in the PPT, that this is how the physical testing area should be. Means a proper clean area. Every bench has a top space for routinely use physical testing equipment. So the testing area should be look like this, so that there is a proper laptop system is there. There should be a proper equipments that is needed in testing the physical testing of the product. So this is how the physical testing area should be. Now comes the standard pilot plant equipment floor space. So as I've discussed this thing, the third one, that is how the standard equipment floor space should be. So the discrete pilot plant is space where the equipment needed for the manufacturing all types of dosage form is located. So a equipment is floor space is the area where you manufacture all types of dosage. Means where where the basically where the production take place. So the immediate sized and full scale production equipment is initial in evaluating the effect of scale up of research, formulation and processes. Equipment should be used be made portable wherever possible, so that after the use it can be stored in a small storeroom. Small space for cleaning of equipment should also be provided. So as already told you, as already discussed with you in our in the previous lectures also, that every industry should have a separate room for everything. Okay, so whenever I am saying separate room, just to avoid the cross contamination, see, equipments that is used in the production should be portable in the sense, if the equipment after use, you can store the equipment in the storage room. Okay, the spaces should also be provided where the equipment should be washed. Means a separate washing area should be there, where you use the detergents and the cleansing agent, and to wash the equipment, so as to avoid the contamination. So every every things that are there in a pharmaceutical industry should have a separate storage, or you can say space, floor space. Then this is how the storage area look likes. So storage area, it should have a two areas divided as approved and unapproved area for active ingredient as well as excipient. Different areas should be provided for the storage for in process material, finished bulk product from the pilot plant, and the material from the actual scale up batches made in the production. The storage area for packaging material should also be provided. So yes, one thing I have just forget to mention there, whenever you are medicine is manufactured, so there is always a need to pack that medicine, means the packaging area. So every industry should have a packaging area, a proper packaging area, where the packaging could take place. Okay, so the this storage area should be divided into two types, divided into two area, you can say, that is approved area and unapproved area. Means so in these areas you put your active ingredient as well as excipient. So different areas should be provided. Okay, whenever there is, means every, if you want to store a materials, raw materials, the area is different. If you want to store a finished bulk product, you have a separate area. If you want to store a packaging material, you have a separate area. So every area should be separated from each other, so as to avoid the cross contamination between the things, and to avoid the bulk you can say the hassle you can avoid by the separate storage area. Then raw materials. So what is a raw material? So raw materials are the basic materials or the things that is needed in the production of a pharmaceutical product. So once the purpose or responsibility of the raw of the pilot plant is approved and validation of active ingredient and excipients raw materials, why it is used? Raw material used in a small scale production cannot be necessarily be represented for the large scale production. Ingredient may change in particle size, shape, or morphology, which result in differences in bulk density, static charges, rate of solubility, flow properties, color, etc. So, see, students. Raw material, what is the need of the use of raw material? So the main purpose of using the raw material is to in of the pilot plant is to have a approval or validation of active ingredient and the excipient of the raw material. So raw material is basically used in the production of the product. So firstly, the raw material is used in a small scale production area, and since the raw materials which are used in the production of small scale production, it cannot be used in a large scale production scale. Why? Because everything changes, means ingredient may change, means from the particle size to the color, everything changes whenever you want to produce a large scale production, or industry need a production that is a large scale. So the raw material capacity, the raw material particle size, the raw material morphology, shape, everything gets changed. Okay, so it is very mandatory that the ingredient changes, may changes in particle size, shape, morphology, etc. when you change from the small scale production to the large scale production. Now comes the production rate. So what should be the production rate and why it is being used in the industry? So the immediate as well as the future market trends and requirement are considered while determining the production rate. Okay, so production rate depends upon the market trends. Okay, what is the trend going in the market, that should be taken into consideration whenever there is a production rate is concerned. Okay, what is the market size, what which part which thing is trending, that all is kept in our mind while production rate is concerned. Then comes the process evaluation. So how the process evaluation take place, and what are the parameters that is there in the process evaluation? So the first is the drying temperature and drying time. So while you produce a medicine or a drug in a pharmaceutical industry, it is very mandatory or it is very useful, that is how the what should be the drying temperature and what should be the drying in time. So to understand this thing in is so this is one of the parameter that is there in a process evaluation. Screen size. Okay, the second parameter is the screen size. Okay, so the second is the screen size, that is solids. Then is the filter size. Fourth is the heating and cooling rate. What should be the heating and the cooling rate? Then comes the mixing speed, mixing time, because whenever the there is a production of any medicine, so you need a mixing of that particular formulas, or the means depend not for the formulas, depending upon the formula you need to mix the ingredient and to manufacture the medicine. So the mixing time, mixing speed, rate of addition of granulating agents, solvents, solution of drugs, etc. So these are certain parameters, that is order of mixing of component. So these are the parameters that are involved in the process evaluation. So basically the question generally arises that what is generally a process evaluation is, and why it is needed. So the basis of for the process evaluation or is um, to have the is the knowledge or on effect of the above mentioned the parameters what all we have discussed, and how these parameters helps in production of the finished product quality. So the basically you can say the objective of this process evaluation is to ensure the selected process could be able to produce the quality product at various critical stages of production. So it is very possible students by critically monitoring within the batch variation of measurable parameters like the first is the content and that is the first parameter, that is content uniformity, a moisture content. Okay, so some of the parameters in the that is there in the material may take place during the processes like milling, mixing, heating, cooling, drying, sanitizing, etc. So this is the basic aim behind the process evaluation. Okay, now comes the master manufacturing processes. So the master manufacturing process again is divided into three things or three aspects, that is weight sheet, processing, direction, and manufacturing procedure. So the master why there is a need, the first one is the process the process or manufacturing direction. So in under this heading, the process direction should be precise and explicit, means it should be very precise and it should be explicit, must be and it should be written in a very simple manner so that the operators that are helping in manufacturing of any drug could easily understand. Okay, then comes your weight sheet. So the weight sheet basically it is used to understand, or you can say identification of the chemical required, how what should be the quantities of the chemicals to be added, what should be the order of chemicals to be added. Okay, now at last that is the manufacturing procedure. So manufacturing procedure it have the sample direction or time of sampling finished product, manner of sampling of finished products. So these are the things that is there in the manufacturing procedure. Now one heading is left, that is what is the GMP consideration, means why GMP is used in the pilot plant sector. So firstly we have discussed about GMPs in detail, so let us quickly read it for you. That is the quick checklist of the GMP items that should be the part of the scale up or a new product, or the product that is manufactured in the pilot plant should have the equipment verification, means the equipment should be verified very properly, means every equipment should have a verification. Then the process should be validated, that is process validation. Then regulatory schedules, preventive maintenance should be there in the production. Regular process review and revalidation should be there, means every you can say procedure that or a process should be revalidated. Okay, and review should be done very properly. Then a well defined technology transfer system should be used. Then a validating a cleaning procedure should be should be there. Arrangement of material to avoid the cross contamination that we have already discussed, means the raw materials that are used should be properly kept, should be properly stored in a storage area so as to avoid the cross contamination. Then comes the how to transfer of analytical methods to the quality assurance. Okay, so that is something that is left behind. And the this is all about in today's lecture. Okay, let us quickly understand some important questions that could be asked in the interviews and in the examinations also. So what should be the questions? So the first question they can ask you about, explain the general considerations, or you can say responsibilities of that is there in the pilot plan. So all these points is very important. But the addition question could be made on what is the use of administration and information process area, means why there is a need of this. So this is again something to be asked in the examination. And they can ask you about how the storage area is divided, on which basis it is divided. This can be used. They can be asked, this can be asked. Okay. Then process evaluation, they can ask you to explain any of the two or three parameters, and the three aspects of the master manufacturing procedure. So this could be asked. So you must have a deep knowledge of everything. So that brings to the end of the lecture. If you have any doubt, any queries related to the lecture, so you can simply leave your queries in the comment section below. In the next lecture I'll be answering the queries. If you haven't follow ITLS Academy, so please go and follow ITLS Academy on YouTube. You please don't forget to press the bell icon. You can subscribe our channel if you want to get our app, so you can get it from the Google Play Store. This is our website, that is www.itlsacademy.com. So you can simply call on this simply go to this website and get updated if you want to join any of the courses. And this is our helpline number, that is 7080833450. And yes student, this is also our WhatsApp number. If you have any query, any doubt, so you can simply leave your queries in on this number. And we will here to update with the answer. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe, and yes, don't forget to press the bell icon to get more updates on the lectures related to different courses. Thank you once again.